I'm Dick Cathell, nominee for a president-elect. When I was in the middle of my seminary, I took a year out to accept an invitation to be a missionary in Okinawa as a chaplain. About halfway through the year, one of the X-ray technicians came in and asked me a question. It was Akamine-san, and he said, "Sensei, please say, how build house? How make family happy?" I asked him, "Well, have you talked to your family members about what they want in a new home?" "Hi." "Well, do you have a builder to build your home?" "Hi." Well, I was listening to his questions, but it was obvious that I had no clue of what the meaning behind the questions were. So I asked one of our nurses, who was excellent at translating, to come and help us. She listened to him for a few minutes, and then she turned to me and she said, "He is asking you, Sensei, to please pray to your God of heaven for divine guidance and divine blessing, so that his family will be happy now and also 150 years from now." That was my first encounter with long-term visioning. And I guess the Okinawans think more broadly, maybe because they live the longest of any people on earth. But in contrast to that, and unfortunately, we have some bad news from one of our colleagues, Walt Kloss. He's now deceased, but he was the director of pastoral care at New England Memorial Hospital, just on the outskirts of Boston. And while he was there, he was doing some postgraduate studies at Boston University on burnout. He discovered that our profession of chaplaincy, we have one of the shortest lifespans, and that we're right up there with psychiatrists, air traffic controllers, and dentists. Now, it's good professional company to be in, but it's not exactly the list that we want to be on. And so what are we going to do about that? We need to find ways that we can do more for better self-care. I know that self-care is an individual responsibility, that we have learned that in CPE and also in our certification committees, but I believe it's more than just an individual responsibility. We need each other in this process in a long life's way. I was listening to, in an email dialogue, I was listening to one of our past presidents, and he said, "I think what we need is to have regional retreats where we can not only have speakers and programs that address the healing of compassion fatigue, but also the prevention of compassion fatigue." And I believe that as we discuss with commissions and councils and committees, and especially you, our membership, that we can come up with many, many more ideas on how we can respond to this. Now, the other day here at this conference, I was listening to two chaplains from Kansas talking. One of them said to the other, I think that we need to be a more nimble organization." I said, "Mike, what in the world do you mean by nimble?" He says, "Well, I guess I mean flexibility and changeability." And I certainly agree with that. And along with that, of course, we don't want to leave out thoughtfulness, details to planning, or balanced budgeting. But most of all, what I want to say here today is every year I come to this conference, and I want you to know that by you taking the risk of being the best that you can be, you have helped me to be the best of who I can be. And now we have become one of the largest pastoral care organizations in the world. And you know what I've learned from you? That we have nothing to fear of the future, except we forget the way that God has led us in the past. And now, when the ballots go out this June, I want you to look over those leadership experiences. I want you to look at the educational background. But most of all, I want you to remember Akamine-san, and that you say yes to his desires, that all within our house might be happy and fulfilled now and 150 years from now. Thank you.